right there in the slot, just trying to make a block here.
Rolled up.
Yep. It looked like Clint Session, number 17, came right underneath him, just making a tackle against White.
So they look at Colson, who a lot of people thought he was going to be one of the big running back players this year for this team. Out playing wide receiver, he got injured, and as they check on him, we'll step out.
Are you sure that's level?
Jason Colson was helped off the field, but was putting weight on his leg that got rolled up on. It's the best news. Lone back is Owen Schmidt. West Virginia trying to extend its lead to 17 points here. They lead it by 11. And here is Schmidt going forward to the 3. I started to tell you before the injury, Rich Rodriguez, his wife Rita, was in his office when we went in to meet with him yesterday. And they had the office decorated with some holiday treats and all that fun stuff. And they had Owen Schmidt's face mask that earlier this year on a carry was bent. They had it sitting out there as kind of an ornament with a candle around it. It was the silliest looking thing. But he got that face mask just bent in, and they've hung on to it. Just a sign of Owen Schmidt's toughness and running ability. He leads the way for Slayton into the end zone. Mountaineer touchdown. Story of this game will be the running of Slayton and White.
And it's going to be the story for the next 3 years. Both are freshmen, and both are going to be making a lot of big plays, not only in this rivalry, but in a lot of football games. You combine Steve Slayton as a true freshman with Pat White as a redshirt freshman, and the offense built around their speed. This is going to be an electrifying offense over the next 3 years here in Morgantown and the rest of this year.
Slayton has 14 touchdowns, and he's really done it in 5 games now, including tonight. The 4th string running back coming in to this one. I believe he may have been buzzed down for a review. And so they're going to review this play. 73 yards on the ground in that drive. That big 44-yard run by Schmidt. Where was the ball when his knee came down? Not even close. He's in.
Nope.
But again, smart to review it and take a peek at it. Any question on a scoring play? Rich Rodriguez. You know, this is a team that has won at least a share of the conference title the last couple of years. And on their way to doing it for a 3rd year, a share of the title, if they get the win here tonight.
Dave Wanstead talked about how we just have to run faster in the second half. And, you know, he's been a little facetious, but what he's going to have to do is recruit faster players, and that's the area that they've been attacking.
Play on the field stands, the touchdown.
Most vigorously, talking to him and to his staff, that's been an area where they've had a lot of success. You might look at Pitt and their record and think, boy, what a terrible year. They're really in trouble. But you look at the direction of the program and the way they're recruiting, and you have to still be excited about what's to come next year and the year after that, especially with a veteran quarterback with Tyler Paco coming back to be in his senior year.
McAfee adds the extra point, 31-13. They represented the Big East in the Bowl Championship Series last year. If you were not with us, really a lot of great running by Pat White and Steve Slayton in the first half helped West Virginia to this big lead. And here's what Dave Wanstead told Aaron Andrews going off the field at halftime.
The 2 biggest plays they made are double screens, and we covered the double screen both times, and the quarterback tucked the ball and ran. You don't practice those plays. Kids making great plays. We just got to run faster. It's real simple.
Well, that's the thing. You have to run faster, and the only way you can do that is to have fast guys. And that's why I say recruiting is so important, because that's the difference in this game. It's not the schemes. It's not being out-coached. It's having great athletic ability in the blue, in the dark jerseys, and in the white jerseys trying to survive and trying to catch every little break realistically, for Pitt to be able to beat West Virginia or play with West Virginia this year, with the athletic ability the way it is on the side of West Virginia, everything would have had to have gone perfectly for Pittsburgh. They had to win a turnover margin. They had to get Pat White into 3rd and long. Everything would have had to gone just perfect, and then they could have been in a football game.
Instead, they've seen Slayton and White combined for 300 rushing yards. That ball goes out of bounds. Pittsburgh will take over at its own 35 as the kickoff by Pat McAfee skidded out of bounds. So you see the 300 total for a West Virginia offense that is 8th in the country running the ball at 237 per game.
It's been a great night for these two individuals and for this offense. We're going to finish this game up and get ready for South Florida, who's got a big game this weekend.
South Florida plays at Connecticut. It's a game that'll be seen regionally on ABC. Part of the Saturday doubleheader. Remember, Notre Dame, Stanford, and Georgia Tech, the night game Saturday on ABC. Derek Hinder couldn't bring in that throw from Palco, and it's incomplete.
But our call this week with Dave Wannstedt, when he talked about if he could go back to the winter conditioning and spring ball and summer conditioning, he'd do it differently. And going into the future, the bad news for the Pitt players is it's going to be done differently. More commitment, winter conditioning, up at 6 a.m., doing the little things that he didn't realize coming back from the pro game that you still had to do at the college level. And to get the edge, you do have to do those things.
I also think he was being very respectful of what was built by Walt Harris. It was good enough to get them to the Bowl Championship Series last year. So don't come in thinking of every answer. Here's the screen with a great block against a blitz. This could go a long way as Greg Lee takes it across the 40 and to the 37-yard line. Gain of 28. Charles Spencer, the big left tackle, was the guy down there clearing the way for Lee.
As soon as I saw Dye coming on the blitz, it just was a matter of whether or not Tyler Palco was going to be able to get the throw off to Lee, because he knew he had a convoy downfield. Great block by Spencer, and Greg Lee with those long strides takes advantage of that safety blitz and gets upfield for big yardage.
Lee, 5 catches, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night. The running back is Rashad Jennings, who spins for about 3 yards to the 35. We'll have second down coming up as we are 3.5 into this fourth quarter. Pittsburgh down 18 points.
It is a good point, Mike, about the respect that he had about the foundation of the program that Walt Harris left behind. But at the same time, coming back from the pro ranks where he was for so many years, Dave Wannstedt, the only way he can learn is to experience it as a head coach. And through trial and error, he's going to make the proper adjustments to help his team next year.
From the 35, Palco play action, swings it underneath to Murphy. Tim gets to just shy of the 30. We'll have 3rd and 3 coming up. You know, we need to remind people who are so familiar with Dave Wannstedt's NFL days that he spent 14 years in the college game with Jimmy Johnson at Miami. He was also an assistant at USC and Oklahoma State before that. And Jimmy has said Dave was one of his best recruiters. So Dave Wannstedt certainly understands the game that he's gotten himself back into. Just any situation you're away from for a decade and a half, there's going to be an adjustment period. Part of what Pittsburgh's had to go through this year. Palco, 3rd down, throws the out complete to Lee. A very good receiver. Gain of 11 and a 1st down. His 49th catch of the year.
Well, against a soft corner, this is bread and butter. You have Greg Lee on the outcut, balls in the air. And it's the difference between a veteran quarterback like Tyler Palco throwing the ball on time and getting it out, and watching Pat White on the other side, who's had a tendency as a young quarterback still to hold on to it just a split second too long and be a little bit late on a few throws.
It's the 5th 100-yard game this season for Lee. Palco goes his way again, and that cushion that was given by Dean McCann, the corner, a senior, forces the incompletion.
A little bit of pushing by Greg Lee, too. Greg Lee trying to take advantage of his size, 6'2", 200 pounds. And McCann is 5'11", if there's any pushing, it's by Greg Lee there. When you got a big target like Greg Lee, Tyler Palko's had a lot of success throughout his career just putting it in the air, and Greg Lee goes up in the air as well as any receiver and times the leap very well with the football.
2nd and 10. Jennings will take it to the 15, 3rd and about 6 coming up. Hey, back to Lee for a second. We talked about his good performance. He's going to be right around 90 yards a game, or a little bit higher than that for the season, if it ends here tonight. Go back over the years, whether it's been Larry Fitzgerald or Antonio Bryant, R.J. English, Lateef Grimm as well. Pittsburgh, 7 of the last 8 years, has had the Big East leader in yards per game. Depending on what Louisville does its last couple of games, Lee could extend that streak one more time. At the number coming in, and he's gone past that average here tonight with 142. 3rd and 6, showing the corner blitz. Here it comes. Palko got rid of it, incomplete. The pressure from Wicks again. By the way, Eric Wicks was beaten by Tyler Palko in high school twice. In 99, 2001, the Western Pennsylvania playoffs. Then Palko beat him last year. So he thinks, just once, I'm going to beat you. And he got there.
And remember, Mike, one of the first throws that Tyler Palko had, Wicks hit him, and Palko hopped right up and got back into his face to say, hey, you know me and I know you, and I'm coming after you again tonight. Wicks wants to go out a winner tonight this year against Tyler Palko.
4th down, down 18. Pittsburgh will try to keep the drive alive. There's a pressure from all over. It's picked up, and the throw is broken up. D. McCann, good in coverage there. And the Panthers, who on the last possession had it 13 plays for no points, this time sees a 9-play drive come up with nothing.
Mike, I think Tyler Palko was surprised to see McCann sink back into coverage because he felt McCann was going to stay up front with Greg Lee, and it surprised him a little bit to see Bucas moving to the outside there, and great play by McCann.
Good drive by McCann, and the secondary for West Virginia. Mountaineers lead by 18. The Mountaineers sending T-shirts which are cold to people who are even colder. Don't get hit with that right now. 1st and 10 for the 15. Slayton, gain of 7 to the 22. He continues to add to his rushing total, 124 yards. West Virginia trying to get itself to win number 9 on the season, stay undefeated in the top of the Big East Conference, and be 1 game away from representing the league in the BCS. They play South Florida to close out the regular season. South Florida has a game Saturday, so if they lose that, obviously, West Virginia will win the title. Pat White, the quarterback from Daphne, Alabama, has 183 yards and has 3 touchdowns. His memories at Thanksgiving has been practicing for the playoffs in Alabama. Flagged down for the offside. White bounced off the first hit, takes it close to 200 rushing yards as he goes out of bounds at the 40. He'll decline this penalty, give White about 17 there, and get him right to the 200-yard mark. With 18 yards, it'll be 2:01.
Offside.
Kirk, I talked about being from Daphne, 1,000 miles from here. He was telling me yesterday that I'd go practice Thanksgiving morning, go home, have dinner, and then get ready to go travel to our playoff game. Remember back I guess it was the week before the season started, we saw Hoover High School from Alabama on ESPN2. I think our buddy Jim Donnan did that game. That is the team that knocked Pat's team out last year, or the last time he played, excuse me, in the playoffs.
Hoover, Alabama, great high school program.
That was the 2003 championship. Slayton. Bouncing,